Hello, I'm Hayden.Bloomfield and welcome to Vlog My Mind. This week, this episode, I wanted to focus a lot on, I suppose, bad news, but trying to put a good perspective on it. Just go through some of the things we've had in the last few years in terms of globally, as well as just like in my own country of England, and just reflect on some of that and try and find ways to stay more positive and feel more gracious, uplifted, despite coronavirus, the pandemic as a whole, multiple lockdowns. I'm not entirely certain of like globally what other countries were doing, but like for England we've had lockdown 1, 2, or 1.5 and 2 and 3, and we're now, as of Thursday, just gone completely back to quote normal. There are now no restrictions whatsoever. Even if you have COVID, you just carry on. Not placing my opinion there. But on top of that, we've now got economy crisis. Economy's crashing. We've got a lot of trouble in America in terms of, especially when you look at the stock market and such, a lot of businesses losing a lot of value there. We've got interest rate spikes. We've got Russia declaring war on Ukraine. So there's a lot going on that's really just, it feels like, oh, and in Britain we've got BREXIT. So there's really a lot going on that, regardless of where you are, it is impacting you, especially like with the pandemic and the lockdowns. And we're really just feeling the full brunt, I think. And just after all that we've had, there's this element of, we almost feel indestructible, I guess, but then there's this also feeling of just like pounding down at us of like, as soon as one thing seems to be in the clip, as soon as we're like getting out of the lockdowns, oh, it looks like we might be able to go back, oh no, sorry, interest rate spikes, and there's a pending economy crash. So it's like, oh, hurdle, okay, we're now accepting that, oh, now, by the way, Russia's declared war on Ukraine. It just feels like there's really, I suppose if you follow the news, read the news, it feels like there's almost nothing to feel good about right now, and it feels like the world's coming to an end, we're going to be facing World War III, and that it can really take a toll emotionally and mentally, especially for those that are in Ukraine. I just send all my sympathies and all my empathy there and hope that people can get out safe, regardless whether that's leaving the city or not, but just manage to stay safe and avoid harm in the best way possible. So I wanted to run through in this video a few things just that I'm thinking about, or things that you might be able to put ideas in your own, or actions into your own activities and day to day, of just ways to stay a bit more positive. Firstly, just ignore the news maybe a bit, or try and reduce the amount that you're consuming news. And something I've definitely realised, especially like with my obsession with Tesla and keeping up to date with all the things going on with it, being an investor and such, is that I found news headlines, which as well, if you've ever got the inside scoop on a news story, you just know how ridiculous, especially the headlines are just designed for clickbait to draw your attention in to generate ad revenue. So maybe pay less attention to the news and look at more thoughtful, quantitative and qualitative analysis of the subjects, whether that's through YouTube, podcasting or whatnot. Chances are you'll get a lot more deeper and you'll get more of the facts, and it won't be portrayed in such a eye-popping, shocking, visceral manner, which is exactly what I've done with Tesla over the years. But I think regardless of what happens globally, is just trying to stay focused on obviously having your sympathies, your empathies, and if you are in a position to be able to help, then that's wonderful. Whereas if you are sort of in your own space and it's not something that you're involved with, it's just trying to focus on what can you do within your own community in this time, what can you do with your own mind, and just keep a focus on, if you are quite into spirituality, mindfulness, and just overall working on your own happiness, fulfillment, contentment, just keep that up, or even just accelerate that at the moment, whether that's meditation for you, journaling, going for a walk, seeing your family, walking the dog, all these kinds of things, spending time being a bit lazy on Sunday, watching a movie with some popcorn. I'm going to paraphrase Jay Shetty here about focusing on your self-development, self-education over your self-indulgence. Yes, self-indulgence can make you feel happy in the short term, but in the long term it compounds with self-education, self-development. So what can you be doing there to focus on just building yourself up, whether that's reading more books, listening to podcasts on your walk and such. Whereas being self-indulgent does seem a bit more attractive at the moment, of just like sitting on the sofa, binging Netflix, eating Easter eggs before you even give them out to anyone else. Might have been locked down again, we never know, so why bother giving anyone Easter eggs when you could eat them all ourselves? But that's not really going to give you any long-term results, except if you are doing exactly that and expanding waistline. But really try and think in these moments, what can you do to look after yourself? And it's something that I try and focus on. And like, I've had a bit of a shitty time mentally, emotionally over the last couple of days, of really strong anxieties and pressures and stresses and fears of losing quite a lot. And I'm just trying to ground myself back down to moments of gratitude, realising what I have got, this position I'm in, and try and realise that there's people that would beg, pray, would give anything to be in my position, where they're facing so many more traumas, terrifying moments and such. So I've got to be grateful and stay grounded on that, which is what I'm trying to focus on. Which brings into like the stresses I've got financially. So what am I doing financially? My investments are long term. I'm not fussed about a micro movements and such. If the stock market is going down, whatever, I'm not fussed. I'm looking at multi-decade investments. So for that, I think try and seize the buying opportunity all the while I can. Like stocks and shares are on sale at the moment, in my opinion. In terms of my own thoughts and feelings, it's just if I've got some spare money, it's an opportunity to buy some stock. I unfortunately wasn't in that position because of trading. I've been in a shit time with trading, which got even shit. So with that, I've had to change. I've rethought what I'm going to do with that, which brings on like one of the 7 goals I talked about, trading, profiting. I'm really going to change my strategy with trading now moving forward. I want to move into property this year, and I've got to try not to lose all my money trading. So I'm going to hopefully reduce my account right down to a minimal amount compared to what it has been, and just look to make £500 a month profit instead of going for like 5-10 grand, which obviously you can imagine has got a much smaller amount in the account. And even then, just look at it as being something that's just a few £100s a month, as I said, just to work with that and increase my margin hugely. So I want to be in a position where like Tesla can drop 1,200 points and I still won't get a margin call. That's the kind of position I want to put myself in. So that's what we're doing moving forward. And as I said, smaller trades and looking at smaller amounts of profit each month. But in terms of like spending habits and such, is something that if you are becoming nervous, maybe start looking at spending less and being a bit more careful and trying to realise the value you get from making such a purchase, and what can you do more to, can that money work better for you, whether it's investing, whether it's spending money on something that will be good for your mental health, whether it's a yoga session, going to the theatre, rather than like sweets, chocolates, nights out, partying and clubbing, whatever. I'm not just trying to like burst some ideas in your head here. And just overall, just try and look after yourself and look after those around you. It's something that I was listening to a lot of Jay Shetty On Purpose podcast today, and just one thing I really want to try is volunteering, and whether I don't know how I even go about that really, but I'll inquire into it. If you do know, comments below, let me know, or anything you think would be a great opportunity to volunteer with. Whether it's in like, I suppose like generically when you think of it, you just think like soup kitchen or whatever, but I'm open to that. Would be wonderful, that'd be lovely. Anything along those lines. I think it just do a lot to help you be part of the community, do something to look after other people and be nice to other people and meet some new people, as well as selfishly feel good for yourself. And being selfless, it's selfish to be selfless in a way because you're doing it to make yourself feel better, but I think overall it would have a huge impact on making someone feel better. So I'm going to try it. That's it for this week in Vlog My Mind. Just, again, huge sympathies, and my wishes go out to citizens of Ukraine and hope that they can find peace in this time, and that although there's a war on, I hope that that can be ended very quickly in a empathetic, compassionate, quiet manner that involves no further bloodshed, no further attacks, no further violence. So to everyone, have a great week, the best week you can, and I'll see you in the next one. And obviously, if you've liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe to get plenty more videos where I'll be talking more about what's going on in my world, the world, and especially around investing, trading, ethical wealth, sustainability, and much more. Bye.